Kia ora, good evening. Shortly before midday, Southern Police and Emergency Services were alerted to an incident on Ellis Road off the Five Rivers Lumsden Highway. In the incident, a 53-year-old Invercargill man was killed in what police say was an event that involved heavy machinery. Police, including the Serious Crash Unit and members of the WorkSafe New Zealand team, attended the incident scene. Police say the investigation of the incident is ongoing. Fonterra this morning revised its forecast farmgate milk price down from $6 per kilogram of milk solids to $5.30.
While lowering the payment for farmers at the farmgate per kilogram, Fonterra has increased and widened its dividend payment per share from 20 to 25 cents to 25 to 35 cents. Fonterra Chair John Wilson says the lower forecast farmgate milk price reflects the continuing volatility with the global dairy trade price index, which declined 6% in the past two trading events. The current predicted payout of $5.30 for the 2014-15 year contrasts sharply with the $8.50 per kilogram for the 2013-14 dairy season.
Southland recorded the largest increase in median house prices in August compared to July, with an increase of close to 17%. Nationally, the median house price rose by $4,000 from July to $420,000 in August. That's up $30,000 compared to August last year. In Southland, median house prices increased 9.8% in comparison to August last year, reaching $201,000 for Southland and $210,000 for Invercargill City. 100 dwellings sold in Southland during August. Invercargill had 79 sales and 8 sales in Gore. 8% of Southland and Invercargill homes were sold by auction, while Gore has had no auction sales for July or August. REINZ says local agents have reported first home buyers and investors are taking a cautious approach to the market, with vendors taking some time to accept that there are fewer buyers in the market. The Venture Southland Joint Committee has approved $100,000 from its Impetus Fund and reserves to go to a seed fund towards the implementation of the Southland Futures Initiative. The initiative aims to match young Southlanders with the growing needs of employers in the region. Venture Southland's Steve Canny says the region has benefited from migrant workers for over a decade, but the time is coming to an end when that workforce may not be as readily available.
We have an ageing population, which means that our workforce in Southland decreases by around 1,150 people per year, and we predict in this year, 2014-2015, that there's going to be about 4,600 jobs come on stream over and above the ageing workforce. And the reality is that right now we have 933 young people in Southland that aren't in education, employment or training, and we really want to link them with good career opportunities in the primary sector and the service industries. It doesn't matter what level that is, but we need those people involved in these programs. The program wants to create a task force to support this happening throughout Southland. Now that task force has been established, which is great, and has representation from some of our largest employers and also our government agencies and so on, which is fantastic. All the mayors are supporting that particular program. The second initiative is to create an expectation and understanding around career opportunities with young people, and help them map a pathway from secondary school, for example, right through to ultimately a career in the primary sector or in the support industries around that primary sector.
$100,000 is no small amount. It's quite a commitment from Venture Southland. You'll be hoping, what sort of funds are you looking for? And you'll be looking locally and from central government also? Yes,
that's right. Well, I think the $100,000 commitment is really a stake in the ground. It really put some substantive foundation around what is being planned. Funds, the program we're hoping to run is a 3-year program, and that will require support from central government and also other private sector and philanthropic bodies. So we're looking at local and national funding for this program. It's around $600,000 for the 3-year program. At the end of that 3-year program, we expect there to be sufficient momentum and capability in the both in our employment and our education sector to be able to provide support around the programs. We've been very lucky in many ways because we've attracted a lot of migrants in the last 14 years, but more permanent migrants in the last 5 or 6 years, which has kind of kept us on an even keel, if you like, in terms of population and so on, and skills. But the reality is that within the next 10 years, that picture is going to change dramatically. There'll be more competition for migrants, particularly as some of the so-called powerhouse economies lack resources and human employment skills and knowledge and capability and numbers. It's really a numbers game. We won't be able to attract the same level of migrants that we have in the past. So yeah, we're just really trying to ensure that what we've got, our young people locally have lifetime careers in Southland. Doesn't mean that they don't go away and travel the world and so on, but you've got to create an expectation of a great opportunity and great lifestyle in Southland, which it is.
After the break, support for farmers affected by swede crops. An international culinary challenge hits the south and the banks of the Waihopai receive some TLC. Welcome back. Farmers who are stressed due to the loss of dairy cows who have been grazing on swede are being urged to seek help. Dairy NZ released an advisory today suggesting farmers experiencing stress should contact the Rural Support Trust for advice and support. It's been estimated the monetary loss of dairy cows due to illness from swede top grazing has reached over $400,000, and many farmers are now in limbo awaiting advice on what crops to plant for next year's grazing. Hundreds of cows have died and hundreds more have fallen ill to date. Vets, scientists and industry groups continue to work to try and discover why random farms across the province have been affected. The heat goes on in the kitchen next week with 9 teams competing in an international secondary school competition in Invercargill. Southland Boys High know what it takes at competition level, and tutor Scott Richardson is hoping their menu is a winner this year.
The menu the boys are doing, we've actually made a traditional take on our roast lamb and 3 veg. We have a lamb rump to actually use for the competition, so that was our good starting point. So we've twisted that around, we've done a pea panna cotta, so instead of your normal peas on the plate, we've made a wonderful little custard with the peas and put some gelatin in it, so you get a little set piece. We've made a traditional cottage pie, so it actually shows us using all the trim from the lamb and all the trim from the potatoes, and then we make a little cottage pie, a little wonderful little dish we serve that in. So it's actually showing good industry skill that you're not wasting food and throwing it away. So it's our take on roast lamb. We've got mint oil there to emulate the mint sauce. It looks quite colourful on the plate as well. It used to be a competition where every country could do a different protein, and that would have made it very difficult. Now each country has the same protein to use, so it makes it more consistent across all the teams. So yes, you might have a Japanese take on their cuisine. The Tahitian and New Caledonia, it's a bit of French focus because they're French Polynesia. So they've all got a little take, but it's surprising that when they get on the plate, they're all very similar in context because of the criteria as well.
The competition goes for 5 days, and the first 4, we're just showing them around our culture. We go to Queenstown, show them the bungee, we go to Marae, show them our kind of food, our farmland, and then the last day on the Tuesday is when we compete.
You've only been cooking for 18 months. You seem to be quite a natural at it. What do you put that down to?
I really enjoy desserts, I enjoy sweet things, and when Scott got me to do the cheesecake, just smashed it out, I guess, did a good job of it, and just been going from there. He's just trained me up to be comfortable in the kitchen and do my thing. How
many times have you cooked and prepared this meal?
We've done it, I think, maybe 8 times, and so that's 8 lots of 4 plates.
Now, you're boarding in town. Is Mum quite pleased to see you home in the holidays and the weekends?
Yeah, she really wants me to show her what I've been learning, try to cook some of that food, but a bit busy out on the farm.
Meanwhile, Southland Girls High Year 9 and 10 students braved the windy conditions today to complete a native planting at the Waihopai Dam and to learn how to monitor water quality. Hunter Andrews found a spot out of the wind to talk to Environment Southland Education Officer Mark Oster.
They've done a whole lot of lessons on catchments and water and soil health. And so this is a part of the studies that they're doing, and they're looking at indicators in this river that tell us how healthy the river is.
And so how are they actually measuring that?
What they're doing here today is 3 different measurements. One is at the far end down there, you'll see some girls with a big tube. They are looking at the clarity of the water, which is kind of like if you were a fish, how far through the water could you see for finding prey or finding food. Then in the middle, we've got the next group is looking at macroinvertebrates. They are the little bugs that live in the water, and in the water, certain bugs can live in really, really dirty water, and other bugs like really clean, fresh flowing water. So by finding out what's in there, they get an indication of what the water is like. And then down this end, we've got another group that is looking at what the shape of the river is like underneath. So they're looking at how rivers can change shape with flow and all those sort of bits and pieces.
And we're pretty close to the city here.
Yeah.
How is the river? How is the stream?
Well, at the moment, this stream comes from a big catchment. So it has a lot that goes into it, and the indicators that the girls are looking at today won't tell specifically exactly how it is, but they're finding bugs and things in there that like fairly fresh water. And the clarity at the moment, I think they're seeing about 700 mils through the water. So after the sort of rain that we've had recently, that's pretty good.
And there's some other students here planting out as well, which is also very important to riparian health, isn't it?
Yeah. The class is split into two. So another group is doing some planting along the side of the Waihopai stream, and yes, that helps in several different ways. It helps stop runoff going into streams. Filtering. It filters what goes in there. It also eventually adds some shade and protection to the stream edges, whether it's on farms or here on the Waihopai, and that keeps the water cooler. The cooler the water is, the better our the better our native fish like it.
Not ideal conditions, but great to have the girls out doing this.
Look, fantastic, and they had to cancel on Monday because it was
flying weather.
Yeah, it would be brilliant. Yeah, we had to cancel on Monday because it was a metre higher than it is now. But no, this is still wonderful, and to see these girls out here and their teachers supporting this sort of work is a real thrill.
Stay with us for the weather next, followed by sport with Tom Conroy from the news team. It's Good Night.